The Harrison family name meant something in this city. It was etched into the skyline, quite literally, with the Harrison Technologies logo crowning our 40-story headquarters downtown. My grandfather had built the company from nothing. My father had expanded it internationally. And now my Uncle Marcus was determined to keep it in the right hands. The right hands, of course, meant his son Bradley's hands, not mine. Never mind that I'd graduated summa cum laude from MIT while Bradley barely passed business school. Never mind that I'd been coding since I was 12 while Bradley still needed help setting up his email. No, in Uncle Marcus's world, the right hands meant male hands. I straightened my blazer as I walked through the marble lobby of Harrison Technologies, nodding to security guards who'd known me since I was a child running through these halls. My heels clicked against the floor. Not designer ones like my cousin Olivia wore, but practical, comfortable ones. The kind you wear when you're actually working, not just playing at it. "Morning, Ms. Harrison," Tom at reception called out. "Big day today." "Just another shareholders meeting, Tom." He smiled knowingly. "If you say so." The executive floor was buzzing with activity. Today's meeting wasn't just any shareholders meeting. It was the one where Uncle Marcus would officially announce Bradley as his successor. The fact that he'd called it 2 days after I submitted my formal proposal to modernize our entire tech infrastructure wasn't a coincidence. "Sarah," Bradley's voice boomed across the office. "Didn't expect to see you here. Thought you'd be off working on your little side projects." My little side projects. That's what they called my consulting work, the private contracts I took on nights and weekends. Work that had quietly built me a reputation in the tech world, not that anyone in the family bothered to notice. "Wouldn't miss it," I replied, keeping my voice neutral. The boardroom was already filling up. Uncle Marcus held court at the head of the table, Bradley at his right hand. My father would have been on his left, but he passed away 3 years ago, leaving his shares to me. Shares that Uncle Marcus had been trying to buy ever since. "Sarah, darling," my Aunt Patricia air-kissed my cheek. "That's a interesting choice of outfit." I glanced down at my simple black suit. No fancy labels, just clean lines and good tailoring. It's practical. "Of course, dear." She patted my arm condescendingly. "So like you to be practical." I took my seat as Marcus called the meeting to order. The usual business first: quarterly reports, market projections, development updates. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for. "As you all know," Marcus began, "Harrison Technologies has always been a family company. Today, I'm proud to announce the next generation of leadership." Bradley sat up straighter, adjusting his Rolex, a gift from Marcus for his last birthday. "However," Marcus continued, "before we make that announcement, we need to address another matter." He looked directly at me. "Sarah has submitted a proposal for what she calls a complete technological overhaul of our systems." The room shifted uncomfortably. Everyone knew Harrison Technologies had been falling behind our competitors, but no one dared say it out loud. While we appreciate Sarah's enthusiasm, Marcus's voice dripped with condescension. "We feel her ideas are too radical, too untested. She's not qualified to make these kinds of suggestions for our company." "Uncle Marcus," I spoke up, "the proposal is based on actual market research. Our current systems are outdated. We're losing clients to more innovative competitors." "Losing clients?" Bradley scoffed. "We just signed Global Tech last month. They're the biggest player in the industry." I bit back a smile. Right on cue, the boardroom door opened. "Sorry I'm late," a familiar voice called out. Traffic was terrible. Every head turned to see James Morrison, CEO of Global Tech, walking in. But he wasn't looking at Bradley or Marcus. His eyes found me immediately. "Sarah," he beamed. "There's my favorite CEO. The board's still raving about that AI integration you designed for us. Revolutionized our entire operation." The color drained from Uncle Marcus's face. Bradley's mouth hung open. "James," I stood to shake his hand. "I didn't expect you here today. Wouldn't miss it. Not after what your team accomplished with Project Phoenix." He turned to the stunned room. "Oh, you all knew about that, right? How Sarah's company, Phoenix Technologies, has been quietly transforming the industry. The AI systems she built for us increased our efficiency by 300%. Marcus gripped the table. "Your company?" I pulled out my tablet, projecting onto the main screen. "Yes, Uncle Marcus, my company. The little side projects you've been mocking? They were contracts with major tech firms. Global Tech was just the latest." Charts and graphs filled the screen. Project completions, client lists, revenue streams, all under the Phoenix Technologies banner. "That's impossible," Bradley sputtered. "You've been here, working entry-level contracts." "Part-time," I corrected, "while building my own empire. An empire that just acquired controlling interest in Dawson Systems." Another shocked silence. Dawson Systems was Harrison Technologies' biggest competitor. "But," Marcus's voice shook, "but Dawson sold to a private investment group." "Phoenix Ventures," I supplied. "My investment group, which now owns 30% of the tech firms in this city, including, as of this morning, a controlling interest in Harrison Technologies." I clicked to the final slide, a breakdown of company ownership. There was my father's inherited shares, combined with stock I'd quietly bought through subsidiaries over the past 2 years, plus proxy votes I'd secured from other shareholders who'd lost faith in Marcus's leadership. "You see, Uncle Marcus," I stood, straightening my practical blazer. "While you were focused on keeping me in my place, I was focused on building something better. And now," I smiled, "now I don't need your approval to implement my proposals. I have the votes." James Morrison chuckled from his seat. "I'd say you underestimated the wrong Harrison." The boardroom erupted in chaos. Bradley stormed out, his expensive shoes squeaking on the polished floor. Aunt Patricia looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. And Uncle Marcus just sat there, staring at the numbers that proved how badly he'd misjudged me. "The shareholders' meeting will reconvene in 1 hour," I announced. "We have some leadership changes to discuss." As the room cleared out, Tom from reception appeared with a coffee, my usual order. "Still just another shareholders' meeting, Ms. Harrison," he grinned. I took the coffee, remembering all the times I'd grabbed an extra cup for Bradley or Marcus, playing the dutiful niece while quietly building my own legacy. "No, Tom," I smiled. "This one's different. This one's just the beginning. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving people wrong, it's proving yourself right in ways they never saw coming." The hour between meetings felt like watching a storm roll in. I sat in my father's old office, kept exactly as he'd left it, though Uncle Marcus had tried multiple times to have it modernized. Through the glass walls, I could see the chaos unfolding. Bradley was in the break room, tie loosened, arguing furiously into his phone, probably calling his trust fund manager, checking if he could afford to leave the company. He couldn't. I'd already confirmed that his expensive lifestyle had left him deeply in debt. Aunt Patricia fluttered between groups of shareholders trying to damage control, her perfectly manicured hands gesturing frantically as she attempted to spin the situation. But the numbers on my presentation had been clear, undeniable. My phone buzzed with messages. From James Morrison. Brilliant show. Board meeting at Globaltech next week. We should discuss expansion plans. From my CFO, Michael. Dawson Systems transition complete. Their tech team is ready for integration. From Bradley's wife, Victoria. Whatever he's done, please don't cut him off completely. The kids' private school. I ignored them all, focusing instead on the email I was crafting to the entire Harrison Technologies staff. They deserved to hear about the changes from me directly, not through gossip and speculation. A knock at the door interrupted my typing. Come in. Eleanor Chin entered, the company's head of legal for 30 years, and one of the few people who'd known about my parallel empire building. She'd been my father's closest advisor, and after his death, she'd become mine. The vultures are circling, she said, closing the door. Marcus is in his office with 3 lawyers. Bradley's calling every contact he has, and the shareholders are choosing sides. I smiled. Let them. The numbers don't lie. No, she agreed. But Marcus will try to fight this. He's claiming you violated family trust, acted in bad faith. While he what? Systematically excluded me from leadership, ignored my warnings about our outdated systems, tried to force me to sell my inherited shares. I stood, walking to the window. Everything I did was legal. You made sure of that. Yes, but... She hesitated. Sarah, he's talking about your father, saying you betrayed his legacy. That hit harder than I expected. I turned back to face her. My father built this company on innovation, on seeing possibilities others missed. Uncle Marcus turned it into a boys' club, running on outdated tech and nepotism. Who really betrayed the legacy? Before she could answer, my phone buzzed. A message from Tom at reception. Your mother's here. I hadn't expected that. Mom had stayed out of company politics since Dad died, focusing on her charitable foundation instead. Her arrival now meant things were about to get complicated. Send her up. Eleanor gathered her files. Want me to stay? No, but be ready for the shareholders' meeting. Marcus won't go down without a fight. Mom entered moments later, looking exactly as I remembered from childhood. Elegant, composed, and impossible to read. Quite a morning, she said, settling into one of the visitor chairs. Your uncle's having what appears to be a stroke. He'll survive. Bradley's wife is crying in the ladies' room. She should be more concerned about their credit card debt. Mom studied me carefully. You've been planning this for years, hadn't you? Since the day Uncle Marcus patted me on the head and said I should focus on finding a husband instead of learning coding. I met her gaze. Since he started grooming Bradley for a position he couldn't handle. Your father, she began, would be proud. I finished firmly. He taught me everything I know about business, including the part about keeping your cards close until you're ready to play them. A small smile touched her lips. He did always say you were the smartest one in the family. She reached into her bag, pulling out a worn envelope. He also left this for you. Said to give it to you when the time was right. I think this qualifies. The envelope contained a single sheet of paper, a letter dated 3 months before his death. Dear Sarah, if you're reading this, you've finally done it. Taken control. Proved what I always knew, that you were born to lead, not follow. Marcus never understood that innovation doesn't care about gender or age. It cares about vision. I've watched you building your own empire in secret, using the lessons I taught you about patience and strategy. I've seen your name rising in tech circles while the family remained oblivious, too busy protecting their own positions to notice the future passing them by. You're probably wondering why I didn't stop Marcus from sidelining you. Truth is, you needed that challenge. Needed to build something on your own, without the family name opening doors. What you've created is yours, truly yours. The company is changing. Technology is changing. The old ways won't work anymore. Harrison Technologies needs a leader who understands that. Who can bridge the old and the new? Make me proud, sweetheart. Show them what a Harrison can really do. Loved, Dad. I folded the letter carefully, fighting back tears. Mom reached across the desk, squeezing my hand. He knew, she said softly. He always knew you'd be the one to save the company. A knock at the door. Elena again. It's time. Everyone's reassembling. I stood, straightening my blazer, ready to watch Uncle Marcus's world implode. Mom smiled, a real smile this time. Lead the way, CEO. The boardroom had transformed in the past hour. The chaos had crystallized into clear battle lines. On one side, Marcus's old guard, looking nervous. On the other, younger executives and shareholders who'd seen the writing on the wall. Bradley's seat was conspicuously empty. Marcus stood as I entered, his face tight with barely controlled rage. Before we continue, I have something to say. No, I cut him off, taking my place at the head of the table. You've done enough talking. For years, actually. I nodded to Eleanor, who began distributing folders. These are the new organizational charts, effective immediately. Harrison Technologies is merging with Phoenix Technologies. Our systems will be fully integrated within 6 months. You can't do this. Marcus slammed his hand on the table. This company is my legacy. No, Uncle Marcus, it's my father's legacy, and he left it to me for a reason. I clicked to the first slide of my new presentation. Now let's talk about the future. The real future, not the outdated version you've been clinging to. As I outlined my vision for the company, AI integration, quantum computing, blockchain innovation, I watched the room shift. The old guard's resistance crumbling in the face of actual progress. The younger executives leaning forward, energized by possibility. James Morrison, still there from earlier, caught my eye and nodded approvingly. He knew what this meant for the industry. Knew that Harrison Technologies was about to become a true tech leader again, not just a family business running on reputation. Uncle Marcus stayed silent, but his face said everything. The empire he thought was his was slipping away, transforming into something he couldn't control or even understand. And I was just getting started. One more thing, I said as I concluded the presentation. Bradley's office will be converted into our new AI development lab. He can clear it out by tomorrow. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking control. It's using that control to build something better than they ever imagined possible. 1 month into my leadership of Harrison Technologies, the changes were already visible. The stuffy old executive floor had been transformed into an open concept innovation hub. Bradley's former corner office now housed a team of AI developers, their whiteboards covered in algorithms that would have made him dizzy. I sat at my desk, my father's old desk, reviewing the latest project proposals when Maya, my new executive assistant, appeared. Your uncle's here. I didn't look up. Which one? Marcus. He's different today. That made me pause. Uncle Marcus had spent the past month alternating between threatening legal action and attempting to rally old board members against me. Last week, He'd even tried to suggest to the press that I'd somehow coerced my father into leaving me his shares. Different how? No suit. No lawyers. He looks tired. I checked the security feed. Marcus stood in the lobby, wearing Chakis and a polo shirt, an outfit I'd never seen him in before. He kept touching the visitor's badge like it was burning him. Send him up. While waiting, I pulled up the latest company numbers. Share price up 40% since the merger announcement. 3 new major clients signed. Employee satisfaction scores highest in company history. And most tellingly, our technological capabilities now ranked in the industry's top 5, up from 20th place under Marcus's leadership. He entered without his usual bluster, looking older than I remembered. Sarah, he gestured to the chair across from me. May I? I nodded. He sat, taking in the changes to the office. Dad's old awards still lined the walls, but now they shared space with cutting-edge tech displays and real-time system monitoring screens. The lobby's different, he said finally. More alive. We removed the barriers between reception and the innovation lab. Let visitors see actual work happening. I saw Bradley yesterday, he continued. He's not doing well. I pulled up another screen. He's interviewing with Jensen Corp tomorrow. Entry-level position, but it's a start. Marcus blinked. You're helping him? I'm helping his kids. They shouldn't suffer for their father's failures. I met his eyes. Just like I shouldn't have suffered for yours. He flinched but didn't argue. Progress, of sorts. Your father, he began, then stopped. Started again. Your father saw something in you. Something I refused to see. You refused to see a lot of things, I said, including the fact that this company was dying under your leadership. We were profitable. We were stagnant, living on reputation and old contracts while the world changed around us. I stood, walking to the window. Did you know Dad came to my MIT graduation? Of course, the whole family. No, I cut him off. He came to my actual ceremony, not just the family celebration after. He sat through the technical presentations, watched me demonstrate my AI protocols. He understood what I was building. The AI that's now revolutionizing our systems, Marcus said quietly. The AI that could have revolutionized them years ago, if you'd listened. I turned back to face him. Why are you here, Uncle Marcus? He pulled out an old photo from his pocket. Him and Dad as young men, standing in front of the original Harrison Technologies building. We had dreams back then. Big dreams. Somewhere along the way, I forgot what they were. Started focusing on maintaining instead of building. And now I'm watching my niece rebuild our company into something I don't fully understand, but something that matters again. He placed the photo on my desk. I'm not here to fight anymore, Sarah. I'm here to learn. I studied him carefully. Learn what? Everything. The AI systems, the new development protocols, even basic coding if that's what it takes. I want to understand what we're becoming. If you'll have me, not as an executive, not even as a manager, just as someone who wants to be part of the future instead of clinging to the past. I sat back down, pulling up another screen. Our new development training program starts next week. 4 months, intensive study. Most participants are fresh out of college. I'd be the old man in the room. You'd be a beginner, like everyone else. I met his gaze. No special treatment. No family shortcuts. Just hard work and actual merit. Think you can handle that? For the first time in years, I saw genuine humility in his eyes. I'd like to try. Monday, 8 a.m. sharp. Don't be late. I turned back to my work, then added, and Uncle Marcus? Leave the suits at home. Developers care about code, not clothes. He stood, straightening his polo shirt self-consciously. Thank you, Sarah, for not just pushing me out. That's not what Harrison Technologies is about anymore. We build things here, including people. After he left, Maya brought in the afternoon reports and a fresh coffee. Bradley's wife called, she said. The kids' tuition is taken care of through next year. Anonymous donation. I nodded. Good. And the new tech scholarship program? Fully funded. First class starts next semester. 15 students from underprivileged backgrounds. Full ride plus internships. Make it 20, I said. And make sure they know there's a place for them here after graduation. Merit-based, of course. Of course. She paused at the door. Your mother called too. The family wants to do dinner. I thought about it. About all the family dinners where I'd sat quietly, while Bradley boasted and Marcus planned, and everyone assumed they knew what success looked like. Tell them yes, I said finally. But here, not at the house. I want them to see what we're building. That evening, working late as usual, I added another photo to the wall. Not the old one of Marcus and Dad, but a new one taken at last week's hackathon. Dozens of developers, including several who'd been with me secretly at Phoenix Technologies, all working together to create something revolutionary. In the background, you could see my father's old awards, reminding us where we came from. But the future? The future was in the lines of code filling the whiteboards, in the young faces eager to innovate, in the way we were transforming a family business into a true tech leader. My phone buzzed. A message from James Morrison. Board meeting tomorrow. Ready to show them what real innovation looks like. I smiled, looking out over the city where Harrison Technologies had always been a landmark, but was now becoming a beacon. Always ready. I typed back. After all, the future belongs to those who build it. And we were building something extraordinary. The next morning, I arrived early as usual. Tom was already at his post in the redesigned lobby, watching young developers stream in with their coffee and laptops. Morning, Miss Harrison, he called out. Another big day. I spotted Uncle Marcus in the crowd, clutching a laptop of his own, looking both nervous and determined. No, Tom, I smiled. Just another day of building the future. Because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't in tearing down the old power structures, but in transforming them into something better than anyone imagined possible, even family.